So hey guys, today we're going to be talking about thunder monsters and specifically how they can now never print a thunder monster that activates in the hand, like pretty much ever. So as of currently, we have two monsters, I believe, that are not thunder dragon monsters that can activate in the hand. So we have let's see. Watuna. At the end of the damage step, if your monster inflicts spell damage to your opponent, this starts a chain. You can special summon this card from your hand. So this is one of them. I have a royal one. Very nice. And then I believe there is just Nemesis Corridor. Yeah. So aside from these two, I don't think there are any other Thunder monsters. Well, I guess there is Pixies, which is essentially, I guess we can just boil it down and say this is an honest, right? Monster you control gains attack, defense equal to the opponent's monster attack until the end of this turn. Yeah, so it's that type of effect. So then we're at 3, and I think this is like all of the thunder monsters that are not thunder dragons that actually activate in the hand. I don't think there are any more, right? This doesn't start a chain, does it? Yeah, you can banish one dark monster from your hand or graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand, and then you're locked out of Colossus with this. So yeah, for the most part, we're going to be very awkwardly unable to make Colossus, I guess, just randomly. But for the most part, we don't have many Thunder monsters that can activate from the hand. And yeah, this is just going to be because of, wait, does this also trigger it? You can discard this card, add 2 level 4 light thunder type monsters of the same name with 1600 or less attack from your deck to your hand. I don't know what targets this has, but also that you cannot special summon during the turn you activate this effect, so you cannot summon Colossus. But yeah, just in general, if a thunder monster activates in the hand, we can then just tribute a thunder monster, right? And then that allows us to go into Colossus. So the condition here exactly says must be either fusion summoned or special summoned during the turn a thunder monster's effect was activated in the hand by attributing a 1 thunder effect non-fusion monster, in which case you do not use polymerization. So the issue with this card now is technically, I guess, you might think, oh, but you still need to control a thunder monster, right? But not that big of a deal. So we can make technically either Sprite Sprint or we can make Sprite Elf. Just make one of these two, and we can also still use their effect, you know, just because. And we can special summon back a guy with Sprite Elf, and then use this to special summon Colossus because we can use this as we attribute this to a fusion summon Colossus, I guess, or special summon Colossus, whatever. So that'll be summoned, I guess. So genuinely at this point, if we do activate a Thunder monster's effect in the hand, and let me read this clearly. Uh, if wait, or special summon during the turn, Thunder monster's effect was activated in the hand. It says activated, so it doesn't need to actually resolve. So if we, for example, activated Thunder Dragon, like just normal Thunder Dragon, and it was negated by Ash Blossom Spring, the summoning condition for this is already met. How am I supposed to feel about this? But, okay. If we were to banish, or not banish, ban Colossus. Colossus is very integral to just, in general, being able to play Thunder Dragon in general. One of the things you can do to summon Titan is to banish, the Colossus, or to, summon the Titan. And this can also trigger like a Thunder Dragon in hand, and then you just recycle this later. So that's pretty neat. I don't know why Colossus is at 1 though. is there a difference between this being at 1 and 3 for most decks? Yeah, I don't think there is a difference, right? Except, wait a second. Turn Thunder Monster's effect was activated in the hand. It's because we can summon it the same way multiple times. Oh, I see. So we can, if we meet the conditions for Colossus once, we can summon Colossus on top of Colossus, and then summon Colossus on top of Colossus to give you material. And then technically, you would have like 1, 2, 3. So if we summon Nemesis Corridor, you would have to try to destroy Colossus 3 times. But let's be real. Yeah, that this probably isn't that big of a deal nowadays. So yeah, it's honestly fine, right? We can just make Zeus or something, and that'll just be good enough. Well, that's one way to out this. There's also like Typhon, which I mean, if you summon Colossus this many times, right, you can just Typhon it back. But Typhon does have the steep, effect, I guess, of blocking you out of normal or special summoning. Yeah, that is a little bit rough, I suppose, but just in general, still fine, I guess, right? Is that a Thunder Penguin? Huh. But, yeah. Now, awkwardly, whenever a Thunder archetype is going to be designed, we can't have any effects that activate in the hand, which, I mean, that's okay, I guess. So why don't we have, more Thunder archetypes still? That's kind of awkward. Well, I guess one thing might be because it's hard to add in consistency. That's why we actually need something like Gigantic Sprite to make Sprite like reasonably function, I guess. You also have Starter, I suppose, but maybe Gigantic Sprite was overkill. But just in general, if we were playing a Warrior deck, we would technically have Rhoda. If we're playing Dino, we have Fossil Dig. We have Bonfire for Pyro decks, I think, right? So we have those options. Meanwhile, for Thunder, we can't really add the equivalent of like a Fossil Dig, and it's kind of sketchy to add anything like that. So if we were able to add, let's say, well, we have to check real fast to see if this can trigger. Oh yeah, it can trigger alright. Thunder Dragon Matrix. This is good enough. We can discard this card, target a Thunder monster we control. So in this case, it could be Sprite Elf. Assuming we could like Rhoda for this. Just in case we just already had like combo and we're just doing this at the end of the turn. We could just, on top of Sprite Elf, make like a Colossus. That's kind of annoying. Also, like if you just randomly have Nemesis Corridor, I guess it's worth mentioning that you can just make Colossus that way as well. So you just have to deal with that. So overall, pretty frustrating. And I mean, Thunder Dragon cards, also worth mentioning, I guess, are kind of outdated. Having all of those when effects and also being one effect per turn, but having multiple effects. So, yeah, Thunder, not a great time. Just in general right now, we have Sprite, but Sprite being played as like pure Thunder is just not something that's going to be happening. And in terms of like just, I think like Thunder extra deck monsters, I don't think we have like anything like super insane, right? And we do not have any Thunder rituals, do we? I don't think so, right? So let's check, I guess, while we're here. And Thunder is a type and not attribute, which is like interesting. But okay. Let's look and see how many good Thunder extra deck monsters we actually have. We have Titan. Titan is pretty okay. We have Gate Guardian of Thunder and Wind. Is this the good one? What does this do? Adds a spell trap that mentions, and then if this leaves the field, you can summon Sanga of the Thunder or Kazajin. Yeah, that one doesn't look like that great. We have Mementotlin Twin Dragon. This is kind of just like this is a part of a combo, like Gilgamesh. So that doesn't really do anything. Gemnite Topaz. This attacks twice, and this can do some burn. Okay. Kaminari attack. Nothing. Gemnite Prismara. You can send one Gemnite card from your hand to the graveyard to target one face-up card on the field. Soft once. You know what? That's not like the worst thing in the world, I guess. That's fine. Prank Kid's Battle Butler. It can't miss timing, and it's essentially Raigeki twice. So that's okay, I guess. Ulti Kanahawk. Pretty sure this is just like a part of a combo, you know? Like, this is just a choke point like Twin Dragon. Okay, Transform. What's this one exactly? Ah, this one. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster with the same attribute as a monster in your graveyard, except during the damage step, you can destroy that monster or monsters. So this can be a floodgate essentially. So in terms of like extra dark monsters, you have some like somewhat good ones, I guess, but not that many actually, right? So we have Starleon as well. But yeah, in general, you don't really have enough to make a deck out of. And this matters specifically for Rivalry, that's about it, right? Aside from that, you're probably pretty fine, but if we just take Rivalry into account here, not much we can do with these guys. Like, are we really going to make Mistworm? I guess we could make Mistworm. Maybe. What Thunder tuners and stuff do we have? Yeah, I can't really think of any. And these are only 3 cards your opponent controls, so we can't return our own cards. Just worth noting, I guess. Oh, wait a second. I see why it has that condition. This has no hard ones per turn. If you synchro summon this like 5 times, you can activate that effect 5 times. Well, that's interesting to an extent, I suppose. Yeah, I don't think we really have any more like good effects for the most part. I guess like Gigantic Spray can beat 3.2k, which is like a sizey kind of guy. And I think that's about it for Thunders, right? Well, what does Chidori do? This card is XYZ, summon target 1 set card your opponent controls, return that target to the bottom of the deck. Well, this is so easy to play around, but okay. Once returned, you detach 1 XYZ monster from this card, then target 1 face-up card your opponent controls, return that target to the top of the deck. Oh. Never mind, maybe this is a little bit better than I thought. But this requires 2 level 4 wind monsters. I've never seen this card be made, like, ever. I cannot even fathom making a rank 4 with winds. So, Nemesis Corridor is like a win. And then, we have... I can't picture a single, like, deck making a rank 4 wind monster, so, yeah, I give up. So, yeah, for the most part, Thunder is one of the shafted types in Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess, right? So the ones that really have a lot of support right now are going to be like the majority, I guess, right? So Fiend has it pretty nice in general. We have Fiend, Winged Beast, Beast, Beast Warrior, Spellcaster, Dragon, Warrior, all of those have it pretty nice. Dinosaur has a nice insect, plant, fairy, reptile doesn't have it that great. Fairy is kind of just okay. I don't think it's like super insane actually with Pure Fairy. But they have some alright cards. Rock. I don't even want to talk about Rock. Okay. Then we have Cyberse. Cyberse, a lot of good support and stuff. Fire, same. Psychic, right now they're pretty good. Illusion's still fairly new, so not a whole lot to say about that. Pyro, pretty strong with like a bonfire, I guess. You know, it's just essentially the same thing as dinosaur. Aqua doesn't really have it that good, honestly. So let's assume you have a brand spanking new Aqua archetype. You don't really have the generics to really use here. Sea Serpent isn't really a typing. Fish is kind of also lacking in certain ways, but you have a lot of actual fish starters. It's just not like it's just lacking some extenders from the hand, I believe, is what fish uh kind of wants here. Just some way to extend from hand, hopefully. And then fish becomes like a lot better. And zombie is just probably one of the worst here. So I'd say zombie better than illusion simply because this is so new. And then sea serpent has like nothing. And then thunder and zombie are actually pretty close. It's hard to say which one of these two is worse. But yeah, they're pretty bad. But winged beast also just got like swallows Kaori, so they're having a pretty good time. And if we just look at zombie, we can never give like a rota to zombies because Ash Blossom Joe Spring is technically a zombie, so you'd be able to do a rota for Ash Blossom, which sounds dumb now. So yeah, honestly, if they ever want to print good zombie support as well, being able to add Ash Blossom Joe Spring just sounds completely just brain dead stupid and something you should not be able to do. So I guess. And I guess for reptiles, you technically have like snake rain, so that's great. But yeah, we can. Well, we can't do a lot of things with thunder monsters now. So notably with sprites, you're a little bit better because you have those like funny inherent summons, sprite monsters, right? But with thunder monsters and just any thunder deck in the future, you will have this insane disadvantage because of Colossus existing. So, usually with cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? So I guess technically you could still activate spells, which is something, but just in general, that would also increase the amount kind of like garnets you would be needing to run, I suppose to an extent. But focusing back up here, if we were to, let's say we are playing doesn't super matter that much, but let's say we're playing Snake Eye. We have Diabellstar kind of hidden away in our hand and all this, right? So if I were to special summon Diabellstar, activate original sinful or set original sinful, and that gets ashed, that's still fine because I can normal summon like Snake Eye Ash, and then we can add Poplar and do things, right? With uh Thunders, we can't activate our monsters probably in the hand. We cannot activate those effects, right? So it would have to be inherent summons, I guess, which I mean, it could be fine, or it could feel like not fine because we would be special summoning monsters out of nowhere, which is why I assume the sprite monsters have conditions to their inherent summon to kind of make them more balanced. Because it would be ridiculous if you could inherent summon like 4 monsters that actually do something onto your field. But if we were to, for example, just have monsters that were extremely telegraphed and just couldn't activate in the hand. So let's assume we don't have the inherent summon monsters and we just have only normal summons, then we're locked into doing essentially equivalent of normal summon a looper, add branded fusion, and then when we try to resolve branded fusion, it gets ashed, and our opponent knows with 100% certainty that we have nothing because that's how the deck would kind of like function, right? Because we can't activate any card effects in hand, or we'd have like the broken mechanic of being able to inherent summon follow up. So it's either going to be really broken or it's going to be really bad, and there can be no in between, right? The in between being able to respond to the special summons, actually, right? So if we can inherent summon, we can potentially like threaten Zeus without our opponent being able to easily respond. So that's actually kind of strong, a bit too strong maybe, some might argue. And then there is threatening. Let's see. We can threaten just uh, standard Zeus with Sprite, for example, which is pretty strong. And then we can immediately also just get our monsters on the field for free without our opponent being able to do too much about it. So just for example with Sprite, I mean if every single Thunder deck plays like this, it'd be kind of frustrating, but okay. So if we summon like normal summon, I don't know, any two, so Sprite Pixies, for example, sure, and then we special summon Sprite Blue. After we special summon Sprite Red, Sprite Carrot, and then we special summon Sprite Blue as like inherent summons, it's just kind of like, okay, what am I supposed to do? You already got a monster negate that just came out, and I could stop this from coming out, and then Sprite Carrot, spell trap negate can stop this from coming out, and then you just have to deal with like your opponent being able to potentially threaten like a Zeus afterwards still. Like immediately without starting a single chain, you can do all that. Kind of dumb. But I mean, Sprite, like, you could technically try to target their normal summon, and that's like somewhat a choke point, and then you're probably good, right? Or whatever level 2 monster they're trying to bring out. Like, if we normal summon blue, blue does not search. So, that's a thing, I guess. But just in general, this can get quite out of hand. So, yeah. That's all I got for you guys today. And, I mean, I don't really want, like, Colossus to be banned, but there are a lot of cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! That in general just, well, they kind of mess up, like, some of the creativity aspects. Like, you just can't print any cards that do, like, this thing, because this card exists. And that's kind of frustrating a little bit, a bit annoying, but it is what it is, I guess. And there are quite a few other cards that are kind of like this, that just prevent cards being printed that do this thing, right? So for Colossus, it would be a Thunder monster activating in the hand. So let's say, for example, if we have a Thunder monster that special summons itself, if you activate like this type of Thunder monster effect, or if it's summoned from like a certain location, or if it's added to the hand, special summon, we can't have any of those effects because Colossus exists. But without Colossus, Thunder Dragon can't play, so rough. Very rough indeed. So, yeah. That's all I got for you guys today. And I'll, see you guys in the next video. Well, actually, they could technically ban Colossus and just print a new Colossus retrain, but, yeah, not too important. So, yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll, see you guys in the next video. Bye.